Are you ready to uncover the ultimate recipe for investment success? Imagine a world where the economy grows stronger and inflation stays under control. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, join us as financial expert Mr. Hari Haran breaks down how higher GDP growth and lower inflation can supercharge your portfolio.
People are debating about this, especially more from a GDP perspective, But let me tell you that there is some announcement that is expected in terms of changing the base year. So, for example, what happens in CPI and WPI is that there's a base year. So, essentially, what does base year means? That where do I start from, right? So, a particular year is considered as a year where you start from, and the price change is calculated from that perspective. So, yes, with changes in the economic situation, then the dynamism that we see, things will change. So, what also happens within the basket is that the basket also changes over a period of time. So, today, for example, if the CPI is 699 items, no, maybe the next revision that will happen could include more items. To sort of to sort of take into consideration most of the goods and services that you and I consider. But please also remember that in a country like India, no, data collection is a challenge. So there are some 1,200 odd villages and rural places from where they calculate the data, roughly about equal number from urban population, also urban household that they calculate this data, and that data is getting projected as inflation number for us. So while we can debate that it does not fully capture, yes, but there is some positive development happening around there, in terms of revision of both the base year as well as the addition to the number of goods that are getting tracked. So that will happen. I think that we should see some announcement there, but I don't think that's done deliberately or intentionally. It is more a design drawback or an issue rather than an intent issue. Similarly, in terms of GDP, there are calls of, should we look at GDP in a slightly different way? See, even in with respect to inflation, for that matter, there are talks now that we discussed about core inflation, etc. So, should we really look at food and vegetable prices? Should they be completely removed from the basket, so on and so forth? All of these are being debated by various economists and experts. And but the indication or the direction is very clear that all of these is being done in a way to better represent what is happening in the economy. Yes, you can never have a foolproof mechanism and say that this is the ideal thing that could have happened. The country is very diverse, very large, so we will have to live with that restrictions or limitations. But as long as these data points capture 90-95% of what's happening, I think we should be reasonably okay with it. One another element along this is the from a GDP perspective, for that matter, is that in India we also have this parallel economy. The cash-based transactions that happen, and there are estimates that that say that so if India's GDP is today say 3.7 trillion, we could have another 25-30% or even 50% that is running parallelly, which is not actually getting reflected in the numbers. So if you look at it either ways, the economy is going even better than what is getting represented, because there is a cash transaction that happens, and you and I know that that there is a parallel economy that exists in the country, despite the government trying their best, in terms of bringing uniform tax regime and so on and so forth.
Thanks for your detailed answer. If you have any doubts regarding this or any other financial decision, don't hesitate to book an appointment with our financial experts. The link to the appointment is given in the description below. And also, would you like to know more about finance and investment? Then we would recommend you to attend our live webinar. The link to the webinar is also given in the description below. The webinar is absolutely free. If you like this video, hit like. If you are new to our channel, please do subscribe. Thanks for watching.